mate, we start with Adelaide Football. We've got a bit of discomfort, respiratory there.
Yeah, he rolled his ankle Wednesday, so it wasn't a bad roll. He looked okay. We had a conversation with the docs and physios, and we'll just keep an eye on it. We're reasonably confident he'll be okay, but at the same time, it won't be one we take a risk with, so we won't make that call yet. We'd love to see him get up.
Can we clarify the Matt Crouch situation, please? Have you had a conversation with Matt about not offering the contract for 2024?
Yeah, let me set the record straight, and I won't answer 100 questions around this, but there was a news article on Tuesday night that was incorrect. I have not had a conversation with Matt Crouch about his future. He's a required player at this footy club.
Do you expect him to remain here next year?
As I said, and I've said this the whole way through, we've got a squad of 44 players who are all super important to what we're doing, and Matt is super important to what we're doing.
So would you, not to harp on again, but could you share your reaction when you were told that that was out in the public domain and probably misrepresented?
It'll be the last answer you get on this, Theo, to be honest. Extremely disappointed on Tuesday night. Extremely.
Why?
Next one. As I said at the start, an incorrect news article. Next question. We don't want to talk about Carlton?
No, we can do that. I'm just trying to understand from our point of view as well, like just a bit more context around the disappointment and not to harp, again, it's not to labour the point.
Next one.
Where's Paul Seidman in that in terms of his concussion?
For me to give you enough detail around it, I've seen a lot of Paul of late, which has been fantastic. He's been around the footy club. He actually spent one game on the bench with me, and I got to see his footy brain in action. He sees the game incredibly well. As far as his concussion and his recovery goes, it continues to be a work in progress. He's having some really strong days. He's now taken some of his training to the next level, but I don't know any more detail around it than that. I don't want to make too many more comments. Otherwise, I might go somewhere that I'm talking on something I don't know about.
So just on that, it's too early to say whether you expect him to be on the list next year.
Well, I expect him to be on the list next year. It's just a matter of how he progresses now. It's day to day, month to month. I look forward to working with Paul for many more years. Whether that's on the field or whether that's not on the field is something we've got to work through, and he's working through at the moment. There's some big challenges with that, but he's doing a great job.
And likely that he'll be playing
Again,
again?
it's not an area that I'm an expert in, so I can't comment on it.
Just back to Riley, we'll let him do a test tomorrow. How do you see that playing?
Yeah, we'll do something tomorrow in the morning. He'll just make sure he's up and about, and our high performance guys will do a bit of work with him, and it'll be a call we make then. We'll see how he pulls up even this afternoon from this morning's. It was only a light run around, but he moved quite well, and then at a couple of points he just felt a little bit of soreness again, as you do off a rolled ankle. So.
Is there a temptation just to put him on ice, given how important he is to your future back into the season?
Yeah, there is, and there's that's where the decision will be made. And so at the moment we're reasonably confident, but at the same time the decision will be made from a number of different factors.
Is that him? Josh? I was about to say, is that him or on standby?
And we've got the three boys ready, and so whether we decide to change up a little and go smaller ahead of the ball, and we'd then have to look at second ruck and so on. But haven't locked that in.
Josh Worrell made his debut round 13 last year. It's been a long time between groups, but obviously pretty happy with how he's gone about his progression.
Yeah, really pleased that the opportunity's shown itself for him. Last year he got one game, and we played up in Cairns from memory in the wet. And he did himself. He played quite well that day. Quite well. I think we maybe snuck across the line with a goal on near the siren. Hasn't had an opportunity since, and so this is a great chance for him to now sort of step up. If you talk 12 months ago, where his footy has now gone, he's He's a much better footballer at the moment, and he'd be the first one to say that. Looking forward to seeing how the step up goes, and I'm sure he'll hold his head high come the end of the game.
Just on that, Tom Duday, is there that temptation to perhaps put him on ice for the rest of the season?
Well, hopefully not for the rest of the year, but again, this is something we'll take week by week. He's just so we know, he's pushed through quite a substantial amount of pain over the last 6 to 8 weeks. Started the year really well. He's a leader of our footy club, so he's doing everything he possibly can. We work through those decisions with the player, especially when there's someone like Tom. He knows his body, he's working on that. It did get to the point this week where we sat down, and in the end we helped him make that decision around, maybe it's time for us to just freshen up a little, see if we can finish the year strong is our intention, but that doesn't mean it may be that he doesn't come back before the end of the year. We'd like to think maybe he's right to go next week, so we'll see how that plays out.
What part of his body in particular experiencing?
I want to be careful that we don't give Oppo a chance to target where it is, because it's been too many parts of his body, unfortunately. He's had one of those, one of those periods in your footy career that a lot of guys go through where, shoulder was an issue. We had some fingers, some ribs. The way Tom plays his footy is the reason he's a leader of our footy club. He throws himself into every contest he can and has no fear. And so at his best, he is right up in the best players in the competition when it comes to that. That's hard to do when you're getting bashed around every week and from throwing your body into the contest. So there's too many for me to list.
Have you got a spare 6'4", 105 kilo body you can put on Paddy Cripps for a couple of hours?
In the midfield? Look, we've got a really good midfield at the moment that will back in to do the job as a group, as a team. When you talk about some of those individual players, it's probably not one that gets it done. It's a team effort. We talk a lot about that. To beat sides like Carlton, you've got to get everything right as a team, because there's so much talent across the board. Back, behind the ball, ahead of the ball, midfield. It's everywhere. So our challenge won't be to beat those guys one-on-one. We'll put a lot of work into them as a team, and we've been working on ourselves as a team a lot throughout this year. So, it's going to take all of us.
Is there a bit of a focus on sort of limiting their handball game? I mean, they're so good at getting inside, Walsh wins a handball, and then all of a sudden a quick change and they're through the corridor. Is there sort of a premium on defence at the stop between the number one contested and uncontested team?
Yeah, that's a challenge when you play sides like this. We go back to last week. Did we get it wrong early against Sydney? Yes. Yeah, in that first quarter, it was on their terms, and then for the remaining 3, it was on our terms. Our challenge this weekend is the same. If we allow the game to go Carlton's way, and as you mentioned, handball and possession, ball use, changing lanes, moving that footy freely off half back and right throughout the ground, well, we're in a bit of trouble. But if we're able to get the game on our terms and change that or take that away from Carlton, we'll then, we believe we're a strong chance. We were able to show that last week. Unfortunately, when we got it wrong, we had 9 goals in about 25 minutes. This week we'll be doing whatever we can to not get it wrong for that long and to have so much damage put on us in such a short period of time.
So is that how you go to Cripps, just by winning the ball yourself rather than stopping him?
Well, a bit of both. There's a bit of both. It's transition. It's not defence or offence, as I think you're alluding to. It's your transition. How can we, take away the opportunities for him to do what he does best? And he's one of maybe about 10 that you could list off. Sard behind the ball, and Walsh you mentioned, and Mackay ahead, and Kerno, and I won't keep going.